Oh my god! Oh my god! That is unbelievable. Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to turn my Surron into an absolute animal. How are we going to do that? We're going to install this. This is the TC500 controller from TORP Motors. So on my bike currently I'm running a 32 amp hour battery. The bike is completely stock apart from an upgraded sprocket. The beauty of this controller, you can use it on any battery. So anything from the stock battery all the way up to 72 volts. With the 72 volt battery you can achieve up to 17 kilowatts. So have a guess what's going on my Christmas list. So before we get into the installation, I just want to say a massive thank you to TORP Motors. Kindly sent me this controller to test out and review. So without further ado, let's open the box and see what's inside. Okay, so this is everything that comes in the box. Starting off, you've got the skid plate. This is probably, honestly, one of my most favourite parts. I really love the matte black look, and then obviously you've got the gloss black logo written down the side. It's really cool. I think it's going to look really nice on the bike. Obviously, next you've got the controller itself. It's just mad how small this thing is compared to the stock controller. The other really nice thing is this only weighs just over 1 kilogram, whereas the stock controller weighs just under 2 kilograms, so you're kind of halving the weight. Next, we've got a couple of stickers, black and white, obviously going to suit the theme of the bike. Another really nice thing about this kit is it actually comes with all the tools that you're going to need to install it. Next, we've got the wiring loom, so obviously this is just going to connect the new controller to the bike. We've got some instructions as well. They do an online version of this that's really detailed. This is just kind of a quick start guide. And another massive shout out to TORP, because they've actually sent me their own display as well to go with the controller. Very similar to the sort of Egg Rider style. I'm sure it's going to look really nice on the bike, and the amount of information that this gives you as well is just unreal. You can also use this controller with the stock display as well if you want. And now it's time. Let's get this thing installed. A little bit sad to be losing the anodized purple, but I'm sure that new skid plate's just going to look absolutely awesome on the bike. Let's get into it. So first thing I've got to do is just undo these 2 bolts either side of the old controller guard. So as you can see, that was really easy, just a couple of bolts to undo. It's really straightforward. Like I said in a ton of my videos, I've got no mechanical experience at all. These really are so easy to work on. And if you're following the instructions that they provide, you'll have no issues whatsoever. So before I go any further, I'm just going to disconnect all the power from the bike. So battery lid up, turn the breaker off, and then go ahead and disconnect the battery. And once you've disconnected the battery, pop the key back in the ignition and just turn it on. And this is just going to drain all the rest of the power that's in those cables. There we go, it's all gone off, so it's now safe to work on. Okay, so now I've exposed all the phase cables, so I'm just going to undo all these one by one and then connect them to the new controller. So that's all the phase cables all wired up correctly, along with the positive and the negative in the right places. So next thing, we just got to wire this thing into the harness. The most important thing when pushing these connectors in is to listen out for the click. This way you know they're properly connected and it won't cause you any issues further down the line. Okay, so we're all clipped in now, everything's wired up correctly. So let's go ahead and test it out and see if it's all working. So next, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the old display and then replace it with a new TORP display. So all it is just tracing this wire all the way back down, disconnecting it, and then we'll install the new one and clip that back into the new controller. Okay, so that's the old one off, nice and easy, just 2 plugs on the end, unclip them, ready to put the new one on. So that's everything all plugged in, ready to go. The new display is installed nicely. Everything's plugged in, so just going to reconnect the battery, make sure everything's working, and then once I know everything's working properly, we'll just tidy these wires up and put that skid plate on. So yeah, let's get the battery in. Okay, so that's the battery all connected. So let's go ahead. Moment of truth, have I done this correctly? Let's switch on and see if we have power. Yes, there we go. Okay, so that's everything working as it should. So next step, let's get the app downloaded. We can then look at all the different features that has to offer, get the bike calibrated, and then finally it's time to go for a rip and see what this thing can do. Okay, so here we are. So app is all downloaded, so let's open it up. This is the first time I've used any of this, so let's see what it's all about. Okay, so accept our terms, no problem. That's mad. So it's literally automatically connected to the bike. So first things first, we're just going to do the firmware update. Once that's done, we can then start looking at calibrating the bike. Okay, so that's the firmware all updated. So it's just basically come up on the screen that we need to calibrate the throttle and also the hall sensor. So we're going to go to the fourth screen, then we're going to go down, click on the throttle. We're going to calibrate the throttle. So it's a slowly twist all the way and release. Okay, go ahead and save that. So once we've calibrated the throttle, next we're going to go ahead and calibrate the hall sensor. So just here is calibrate hall. So all we have to do now is just put the password on, and the password can be found on the side of the controller. So I'll go ahead and put that in, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so password's in. It says the wheel will start spinning. Please make sure the wheel is lifted from the ground. So, okay. That is mad. There we go, and we'll save. So now it's just saying that just to make sure that the motor is spinning the right way, we're just going to pull the throttle slightly and make sure the wheel turns the right way. Which it does. Okay, and there we go. That is the bike all calibrated. It's all set up with a new controller. So what I'm going to do now is tidy up all these wires, make everything nice and neat and tidy. I'm going to have a play around in the settings, and then we'll go out and take it for a rip and see what it can do. Cool, so here we are. Made it to a really nice riding location. It's really quiet, nice long straights, couple of turns as well, so we can give this a really good test. So let's not mess around. Let's have a look at the settings. And the first thing we've got to do is just set it as high as we possibly can. Let's see how fast this thing can go and how torquey we can get it. Okay, so I've loaded up the app. So what I really love is how quick this thing connects to the bike. So turn the key on. Boom, we're straight in. It's so quick. Okay, so let's talk about some of the features. This is our first page, obviously. So obviously we've got a speedo at the top. Obviously it's saying about our kickstand sensors down, so we know all the sensors are working. Bit of information on the first screen. So I've got obviously my battery level, my voltage, my ampage, and obviously as we start riding, the rest of these details are obviously going to go up. Going on to page 2. So on here you'll have more information than you will ever need. So obviously it tells you your voltage, your cell voltage, your motor current, your battery current, power, speed, everything. So obviously as you start riding, obviously all this data will change and feed it to you live as you're riding along. Going on to the next page, page 3, this is all about your battery. So these are obviously the cells that are in my battery at the moment. It tells me my battery level, and I've also got my temperatures on there as well. It's really nice on this page as well. This will give you a lot of information regarding your battery. So the charging history, whether you've overcharged it, undercharged it, when it was last charged. And like I said, this will work with any battery from the stock bypass battery, 60 volt battery, 72 batteries. You can use this with the whole range. Moving on to page 4. Now obviously this is going to be our main page. On here we can switch between the sports mode and the eco mode. At the moment I've only ridden this thing in eco. I wanted to save the sport for this video just so you can see my reaction and we can just see how fast this thing really is. At the moment we're running an estimated power of about 3.3 kilowatts, so it's just about what a stock Surron rides at in sport. Got my motor current there, my battery current now. Obviously all these are going to do is change the torque of the bike and obviously the top speed of the bike. So I've been playing around a little bit with that, but I don't want to push it too far because I want the eco to be very similar to the original bike, and obviously the sport I want to push to the absolute max. Then we've got a bit of regen on here. I like to normally have my regen completely off. Riding here was a lot downhill, just thought I'd put it on there just to see if it made any difference. And then on the bottom of this screen we can now go and change which batch we were riding. So like I said, I've got the stock, so I've selected stock. There's a few other sensors that we can turn on and off if you need. I like to keep mine on. Someone here is the TORP display. Now this is quite an important one. I am going to do another video on all of these settings. This is just going to be a quick run through. This mode button at the bottom, if you have the TORP display, you are going to need to change this over to TORP display to be able to switch between the sport mode and the eco mode. I had to learn that the hard way. I obviously didn't read the instructions properly. I will say though, it's a massive shout out again to TORP because they are so helpful. Probably one of the most helpful companies that I've ever had to speak to. He dropped them a quick email and they responded almost instantly, so massive credit to the company, massive credit to their customer service. They are absolutely spot on. And on to the last page then. On this page here, obviously you've got a few more settings that we can change. We've got changed mine over to miles per hour. I'm in the UK, that's what we read in. My temperature units over. Now a couple of other bits here. We've got the sprocket ratio, so if you've upgraded your sprocket you will need to change this. This is just going to calibrate the speedo and the app to work with the controller. So mine's a 56.2 sprocket, obviously I've just inputted that. The next one that's quite important is the wheel diameter. This again is going to help calibrate the bike so that it's reading all the right stats to you. With the wheel diameter, it's not the size of your wheel, as in the rim that you have on it, it's the actual tyre as well. So if you have a 16-inch wheel with a really meaty tyre on there, you would measure the whole lot, including the tyre. I've got a 19-inch stock rim on the back, but I do have an upgraded Maxxis tyre, so I had to put in that we have a 25-inch diameter. On the bottom of here, you would have seen me use these in the beginning of the video, so just calibrating my hall sensor and running through as well. You've got a couple of other little things you can diagnose the bike to see if there's any issues. If you do play around with any of these settings and you get it all wrong and the bike's not performing how you want, you can obviously do a factory reset. That's just going to put everything back to stock and then you can start again. So what I will say so far with this app, so easy to use, absolutely brilliant, really straightforward. I don't have much understanding with voltage and amps, but having to play around, you soon learn what does what. So let's go back to our main page. So currently I am running in eco mode. What I'm now going to do is go into sport mode. So you can see here now that we are running an estimated power of 7.3 kilowatts, which is almost double what the stock Surron runs at. I've got my motor current at 500 amps and the battery at 120. Put my RPM up to infinity, so I'll hopefully get as much speed out of this as possible. I've turned all my regens off. I don't have the original brake, so I don't have the brake regen, but I have turned the throttle release off. So here's the moment of truth. Let's see exactly what this thing can do. Okay, we're in sport mode. First test, let's go. Whoa! Oh my god. Okay, let's try. That is unbelievable. I didn't even make it to 5 miles an hour and I couldn't keep the wheel down. Okay, let's try that again. So I need to lean a little bit further forward. Jesus. Okay, ready. Oh my god! Oh my god! Jesus! Jesus Christ! That is unbelievable. No way. Oh, I can't keep the front wheel down. That is no joke. I'm absolutely speechless. I can't get over that. So 6 miles an hour, let's just pin the throttle. Oh. No joke, you have to hang right over that front wheel. That wheel is just lifting. It's just ridiculous. Oh, I literally cannot get over that. The torque on that is like nothing I've ever felt before. I'm blown away by that. I'm hoping this is coming up on camera, but literally as soon as you pin that throttle, I cannot keep that front wheel down. I mean, this is on grass as well, and it's not particularly dry grass either, but oh my god, it's literally, I can't. Even at 20 miles an hour, the front wheel just lifts. Now going back to batteries, I have the lowest amp hour battery that the Surron comes with. It's a 32 amp hour. A lot of the newer ones now are looking at 38 to 38.5 amp hour. Jesus Christ. I would dread to think what a 38 amp hour would do. And furthermore, what a 72 volt would do. I just cannot get over that. Jesus. Oh my God. Whoa. So if you saw my last video doing wheelies, I'm going to have to relearn them. Obviously I can set all the throttle settings as well, so obviously I'll get it set to aggressive, so the power is literally instant. I hope this is coming up on camera just how fast this is. One thing I'm going to say though is I'm so glad I've upgraded my brakes, because there is no stopping this thing. Speechless, absolutely speechless. Torp Motors, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's completely transformed this bike, no doubt about it. I have no idea what we're doing top end, but it's just that torque is just phenomenal, unbelievable. Torp Motors, hats off to you guys. You have worked an absolute miracle with this thing. Like wizards of the electric bike world, some sort of Surron sorcery going on here. Unreal. Okay, I think that's enough here. I think what we should do is take this out and try it on a different location. Can't keep that front wheel down. And that's no, I'm not bouncing the wheel up there, that is literally just the torque of the bike. I'm gonna have to find some massive open space because I can't even get it up to the top speed. The other thing it's done is made the throttle so responsive. It's just like night and day compared to the stock. Oh. 51 mile an hour. 51 mile an hour. So we're 5 mile an hour faster on my top end. Now I reckon I could probably push that a little bit further if I start playing around with the field weakening, but 51 mile an hour to me, there's no place that I can ride apart from a flat open field where I'm going to hit 50 mile an hour. And like I said, I've got the smaller battery as well, so if you have the 38 amp hour battery, you're probably going to get even more on the top end. Another thing that I really love as well is the torque display. All the information that I'm getting fed through the app is pretty much replicated through the display as well. But like I was saying, you don't have to have the torque display, you can use it through the stock one as well, but I really like it. I'm a big fan of it. I love how small it is, I love the information that it gives you. and it's nice and easy just with your thumb. It's just nice and easy to be able to control as well. And again, the same with everything that TORP's doing. It's nice and easy to use. So there we are then, guys. Absolutely blown away with this TC500 controller. I love everything about it. I love the look of it with the skid plate on there. I love the performance. The torque is just phenomenal. And achieving that higher top speed is just a little icing on the cake as well. Obviously, you've seen from the app, is absolutely phenomenal. You can literally control every part of your bike through it. Before installing the TC500, I had no idea about voltage and amps. With using the app for just such a limited time, it's so easy to understand, and it's really easy to get your bike performing like an absolute animal. Another thing that I really love about TORP Motors and the company is the customer service. Like I've said, there was a couple of things I was unsure of. I just sent them a quick email and they were back to me instantly with the answers to what I needed to know. So again, a massive thank you to TORP Motors. I'm going to put a link in the description to their website so you can go and check them out. There'll also be links where you can buy the TC500 controller for your Surron. But as always, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. And whilst you're there, go ahead and subscribe as well. More videos to come on this. And obviously we will be looking to upgrade the battery as well. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to perform. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.